Hello and welcome back to Curmudgeon Media. My name's Tom and I'm talking about a video game today. Yeah, on this channel that's typically Green Ornstein's wheelhouse, but I've killed him and he's dead and now I talk about the video games. Recently, I had the absolute pleasure of playing Wandersong, developed by Greg Lobanov of Dumb and Fat Games. Wandersong is a delightful 2D platformer RPG with a musical bent to it, and it is the best game ever, and I will not be accepting questions. In stark contrast to the stereotypical RPG, you do not play as the swashbuckling hero, but as the unassuming bard instead. In classic RPG fashion, you are tasked with averting the end of the world with nothing but your voice, your heart, and a misanthropic witch named Miriam. To save the planet from its impending doomsday, you have to learn the Earth Song by visiting various overseers, large animal monarchs who reside in various regions of the game world. The game is patched together in simple, flat shapes and block colours, similar to something like the Paper Mario games. It gives the whole aesthetic a disarmingly childish appeal, in contrast to some of the more mature themes under the surface, but more on that in a minute. The simplistic style allows the characters' personalities to shine through their cosmetics, leaning on rudimentary combinations of shapes to convey those personalities quickly and effectively. It's basic character design theory, but by God does it work. You can get such a strong impression of all these NPCs before you even talk to them, just by a cursory glance. For example, the bard with their large round head and soft features is immediately welcoming and friendly. This here pirate with his broad physique and large maw just screams bold and boisterous. I could go on like this all day, but I just want you all to discover these characters for yourselves because they're all so damn eye-catching. The central gameplay mechanic is a musical wheel which you navigate using your analog sticks, Joy-Cons or mouse. I cannot stress enough what a stroke of absolute genius this simple little wheel really is. It's colour-coded, which means you don't need to be a musician or pitch perfect at play, but the real magic of it is that a plethora of different gameplay elements are built upon this one simple mechanic. The game is constantly reinventing itself. With every level, the developers find some way to keep the music wheel fresh and interesting. Sometimes it's used to add to the platforming mechanics, and sometimes it's just used to change how you interact with the world around you. Honestly, part of the joy of playing Wandersong is the anticipation of what they're going to do with the thing next. But because all of these elements are built upon one mechanic, the musical wheel also serves to bind the various aspects of the game together harmoniously and naturally. It means the game can simultaneously be a platforming dungeon crawler and also a rhythm game when it wants to be. It never feels out of place or messy. Much like the rest of the game, our protagonist is just wonderful. Optimistic and caring, they're guided by the simple fact that they just love everyone and everything and want to make everybody happy. As such, they're rather single-minded in their pursuit of the Earth Song regardless of the circumstances. Since they are our waypoint into the story, the game isn't navigated by fighting swathes of creatures and battling bosses. Instead, it takes on an episodic structure where you travel from place to place on an act-by-act basis, helping people and changing lives. The game is populated by NPCs who are simultaneously cartoonish and charming, but equally written with great nuance. You're given enough time in each chapter to get attached to the inhabitants of this village or that, so much so that you're genuinely a bit torn to leave them behind for your next adventure. And with every new town that you visit, you're guaranteed to get sucked into the affairs of whoever comes next. Most of your time will be spent with these NPCs, some small and some large. It's really clear that a ton of effort has been put into making them distinct, not just visually like I said before, but also characteristically. Sometimes they're just little bits of dialogue that'll make you laugh or something, but a lot of them respond to you and each other in unique and interesting ways that make the world feel so alive. You're not just saving the world for the hell of it, you're saving the world for them. You grow to truly care about them and their daily struggles. I can confidently say that some of them will have stories that will move you to tears. It'd be remiss of me not to mention Miriam in a little more detail though, because she is the best character ever and I have never identified with someone more. In many ways, the growing dynamic between Miriam and the bard really is the lifeblood of the story. She's everything the bard isn't. Angry, angsty, impatient, brutish, and pessimistic. The script allows them to play off of each other perfectly as their surface level traits fall away and reveal the deep-rooted insecurities that make them who they are. As the drama mounts from act to act and the stakes rise, the narrative transforms into a platform for exploring these insecurities. But they're the kind of human failings that everyone can relate to in some way. Faced with an ever-increasing threat that spirals far beyond their depth, they, and we, begin to experience feelings of redundancy, fatalism, mediocrity, and so on. In a world that's ever-presently threatened by climate catastrophe, racism, and large social issues that are beyond the scope of any one person, I find these emotions to be uncomfortably relevant. But it's not just a story about a couple of people saving the world. It's about a couple of people barely overcoming adversity, discovering themselves through their shortcomings, and learning to live in their own skin. The overarching theme is harmony. Not just in terms of bringing people in harmony with one another throughout their quest, but harmonizing with themselves. This is what makes the game special to me and why you have to play it. There's a line at some point in the game which explains that the Earth Song is more than just a song. It's the harmonization of all living things. The world we live in is so wrought with hatred and discord, and I find it really powerful that Wandersong provides this experience that's so dedicated to showing how good we could be to one another. Of course, war and conflict and poverty aren't easy to fix, but there's something so inspiring about watching this little bard, powerless and small and insignificant, yet so full of love and compassion and so devoted to treating everyone with decency. He's not some larger-than-life hero with a magic sword. He's just a bard. But he achieves so much by sharing his infectious, steadfast kindness with the world, even if they're just small acts of kindness. He won't even step on bugs. He loves bugs, and now I love bugs, and I think I'm gonna cry. The issues that affect us on a global scale seem insurmountable. It feels like there's very little we can do on our own. But Wandersong teaches us that small, frequent bouts of benevolence can go a long way and make a big difference. I was initially thinking about doing a longer, more analytical video about Wandersong because it's really so good, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. There are all kinds of secrets and twists that should really be experienced firsthand. I truly think this is a game that's worth picking up. It isn't expensive, so go buy it on the platform of your choice and just play it. It'll give you all these complicated thoughts and feelings about yourself and the world, but mostly it's just going to make you feel really good. It's going to give you hope. And I think that's something we all need right now. Thanks for watching, guys.
Nothing can kill me. Nothing!
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more videos.